What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Can you say sweep? Sweep. Swept the Phillies. You know that I really hate that team. Just loathe Philadelphia as a whole. Not a big fan of the city, but it feels great to sweep the Phillies at home. 8 straight wins at home for the Mets now. Playing some good baseball. Just showed we're a better team than the Philadelphia Phillies. I feel like that's exactly what happened this series. As you guys know, we'll go through and talk about everything that happened in this 3-game series. Before we do, make sure you guys are following us on all our social media at Mets'd, METSDUP, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're looking for the YouTube version, go to the New York Mets YouTube channel and subscribe over there. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, drop us a rating, review, download, and subscribe. James, sweep, and another game that James Shiano is in attendance for, another win. Did you get your selfie today?
I didn't do the selfie today. I don't want to overdo the selfie thing because I can't make that like that much of a bit. Because I go to a lot of games. Can't make that many selfies. Yeah, I think it's my 14th game of the year. So, I think I'm now 13-2 in the ballpark.
It's pretty good,
which is unbelievable. I didn't calculate the Mets record. I'm out of the ballpark, but they won 2 games without me earlier this week too. Played the Phillies again. Basically, it felt like the first time I played them in a calendar year, and we picked up exactly where we left off last April and May when we completely pulverized the Phillies for 2 straight months, almost every other week. And we kind of left the series feeling like this is a team now that you got to still play them again in 2 weeks.
Of course.
Still got to go to Philadelphia and take them there. But this is a team that you can kind of feel like when you look at the National League and everything's starting to come into focus a little bit better, I think we could say that as long as everyone does their job, we're better than this team.
100%. I mean, me and you have a lot of conversations off camera that we don't get to talk about. A lot of it has to do with the Mets and the Phillies because there's been a lot of back and forth of just where we think this team could be, where they're going. And with Trey Turner playing as poorly as he has to start the year, they really we much.
No, and we were separated by 1 game in the loss column on Tuesday. Yeah. So this was an important series. Whichever way it went, it could have changed a lot. In fact, now we picked up 3 full games on them. We sent them to 25-31, which is amazing. And another thing important about just this series, looking at the Mets schedule as a whole, we've talked a lot about the fact that the Mets had a bit of an imbalanced schedule where they played a lot more road games earlier in the season than home games. And the Mets are a great home team. 15-9 at home so far this year.
It's a great record.
Which is pretty unbelievable. But they've played 9 more road games. So we have 9 games in hand at Citi Field where we've been playing incredible baseball, and especially over the last month, the best baseball I've played the whole season.
I mean, I feel like they did that last year too. I feel like they've just been this group of guys has been really, really strong at home. And I mean, the 8-game win streak is going to help too with 8 straight at home, which is just, it's fantastic. It's so nice when they're playing. I love being happy and talking to you guys, especially a sweep of the Phillies means a little bit more to me. I know we have some Philly fans who hate watch this, so I'm glad that you have to hate watch this one and hear about the sweep over and over again because I'm not going to stop.
I hope we got Philly announcers hate watching too because they hate the Mets. Those guys hate the Mets.
Can you believe?
A lot of moaning and groaning, whining. This team's defending pennant champions. They're whining.
Can you believe? I will say, the Phillies fans themselves don't like the one announcer, I believe it was Ben Davis, who was whining about Francisco Lindor's throw to first on the double play from the line drive from Edmundo Sosa. I mean, the guy was running to second base, and Francisco Lindor's like, I'm just going to get the ball over there because he's not running back. He was saying it's unsportsmanlike, act professional. I was like, this is genuinely one of the biggest reaches I've ever seen of an announcer whining and complaining. Like, you get the bat flip announcers that whine and all that, but a throw? Unprofessional throw?
There's probably also a lot of that's the Phillies trying to, like, swing back for last year, how like mean Keith was basically about the way they play baseball and their defense.
Definitely.
Him trying to like get a shot back in the Mets, be like, this Lindor, all these amazing plays he makes. Shame he doesn't respect the game. It's like, all right, come on.
Make a professional throw. What do you think a professional throw even looks like?
Especially as the 2 players in the Phillies who were involved in that specific play, if you guys didn't see it, where like it was a soft line drive and doubled off the guy off first. Like the guy at the batter's box didn't even flinch.
No.
Didn't even move. Again, it was a line drive, but like there was no effort exerted than any player in the Phillies that play either.
And Bryson Stott just stood on second. He's like, you got me. I mean, what do you want me to do? So, I mean, great stuff. Great stuff. I love when we can sweep them and get the Philadelphia people mad as well.
We just also have to say, we say that every episode of this podcast, starting pitching is the most important part of this team.
So important.
In the 3 games this year against the Phillies, before we start getting into game by game, Mets pitchers went 20 innings, gave up 12 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 22 strikeouts.
What's the stat that everyone's throwing around Twitter? That when the Mets pitchers go 6 innings or more,
when a Mets pitcher completes 6 innings this year, the team has not lost a game. They are 16-0.
It's pretty good.
And courtesy of Mike Mayer, that is the longest single-season streak since the Houston Astros won 17 straight in 2021 when their pitchers completed 6 innings.
It's a good year for the Astros, too.
Yeah, pretty good year for the Astros. 2021.
Well, they still win a lot of games.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great year for the Astros. That was one of the Astros years where they just weirdly lost a World Series to a bad National League East team.
I mean, that happened.
Yeah, that's happened twice. Yeah.
It happens.
2 times the Astros have blown World Series against bad teams, but we digress. No, it's amazing. Though. Just starting pitching comes together. And there's even a series where you only got one of Scherzer and Verlander. Scherzer, of course, pitched great, but I guess now to get into the series now, Tuesday night, Kodai Senga threw his best game of his career. Probably, and this is like the third time we've said this now about Senga, the best game a Mets pitcher has pitched all season. Yeah. It was beautiful to watch.
He was dominant from the get-go. And I mean, also shout out Kodai Senga for literally saying this in his like first ever press conference in the Mets or whatever it was, first few questions they ever got asked. The National League East is loaded. Who are you excited to face? Who are some guys you're looking forward to? He straight up said the Phillies. He was like, I want to face the Phillies. Now, whether or not that's because they had some star power on their team with guys like Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and JT Realmuto, that probably is it. Yeah. But also at the same time, maybe he knew a little something. He's like, the Phillies can't touch me.
I mean, they really didn't touch him either. Like Senga, this game, it was interesting to see because he really simplified his repertoire the first time in a while. And there's been a lot talked about like the way sequencing his pitches, what he's throwing when, where he's throwing it. In this game, it was really just a lot of 98-mile-an-hour fastballs and ghost forks. This was the highest percentage of ghost forks he'd thrown in any start this season, dating back to his first of the year.
Made them look foolish on the ghost fork. Like it was. We've seen the ghost fork a bunch of times now. It seemed like that was the nastiest it's been all year.
And I think that was a big reason he even made this switch to throw it more. Like I don't think this was a preordained plan. Could be wrong.
Maybe.
Not part of the meetings, but it seemed like because he didn't change the zone rate of it at all, and like the swing rates were basically the same. It was just the fact the Phillies couldn't touch it. They kept swinging at it. They kept taking their shots at it, and they couldn't get near it. It's 12 whiffs on the pitch. It was ridiculous. Four-seamer also, he was like really keeping it low in the zone too and tunneling it off the ghost forks. That pitch kind of looked exactly the same until it got there. And a new wrinkle from Kodai Senga in this start. He seemed to be throwing a new slider here.
Okay.
And then I got that little tidbit. I kind of noticed it on the pitch tracking and Baseball Savant, but caught the tidbit courtesy of Lance Brozdowski, friend of mine. He does his pitch info, little write-ups every single day on Twitter. He works for the Cubs Network, WGN. He's a really good analyst. And what he was throwing is what's technically called a gyro slider. So it's not like a normal slider that you hold it like a slider and it slides like across the strike zone like we're used to. A gyro slider really doesn't move horizontally at all and just drops down. But it's not dropping down like a hammer curveball where it's like toppling over. It's going like this. Like it's moving like a football and it's falling down. The pitch would be going straight if gravity didn't exist, but it's like going like this with the laces. So the gravity's dropping it down further. That's kind of what the gyro slider means. So it makes the hitters think it's a slider coming out of a hand because it has a sideways spin, but then it drops like a curveball. So that's why it kind of messes with hitters. It's kind of the opposite iteration of the sweeper that's going crazy. And he threw this pitch, Senga, like kind of in reverse of how he was using sweepers in earlier starts this year. And he's throwing that sweeper less and less the last few weeks. I shot that a few weeks ago. He was throwing it first pitch a lot because he was just dropping it in. But while the pitch gets good movement, it seems like it's so new to him. He doesn't really have the command of it just yet. And something else that's cool, that gyro slider has almost the exact same movement profile as the ghost fork, with a different spin direction and a few mile an hour faster. So it's a little bit harder for those hitters to pick up. And he was using it a little more often in the zone than the ghost fork. And I think that was a really good foil for it.
No, I'm happy you picked up on that because, I mean, I was in between. I would shout out the softball team free agents out in the Brooklyn Softball League. We got our first win. Coincidentally, also the first time the Mets had won while we had been playing softball. So good things happening all around. Big mercy for the boys. But, yeah, so I was in between, in the field and stuff. Couldn't catch every single pitch of Senga. So that's interesting that he picked up on the slider because, I mean, everything that he was throwing was looking filthy. And he looked like he just completely dominated the Phillies hitters. They didn't know what was coming. He kept them off balance. I mean, they have really good hitters. Shout out to not playing Bryce Harper. Appreciate that in game one.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Castellanos, who's been coming into the series hot, I feel like really didn't even do much.
No, and Senga was throwing that cutter a lot too, which is becoming a good pitch. And StatCast was confusing, I think, the cutter and the slider a little bit, so I want a few more starts to populate so we can see more, like, spin movement data. But just seeing it, just like that nice drop with the confusing spin, I thought that was a good note. And got some notes from John, too, just about how much hitters have been struggling against Senga in general this year. Against exit velo against on the season is under the league average of 88 miles an hour. Nice. Opponents are just hitting 100 against the ghost fork this year. Still just the one hard hit ball.
It's pretty good.
Last game, Seiya Suzuki. That's going to be a tip in the cap for him. 22 whiffs by Senga were the most by a Met any game this year. And Senga's 70 strikeouts to his first 10 major league starts, the third most by any Japanese-born pitcher ever.
Wow.
And big thing now going on with Senga, the new narrative, 1.2 ERA at home. Second best by any pitcher at home in baseball.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been really, really good at home. We've been lucky that we've been able to come to a lot of his games and be able to watch him pitch. Wish I was at that game because, like we said, it's one of the best ones, maybe the best start of his entire career. No walks, that's the big thing.
7 innings, 1 base runner, and that 1 base runner was like a bloop single that dropped barely in front of Tommy Pham.
Big time Tommy.
Big time Tommy, OS for life.
OS for life. That's the old school way.
I gotta correct you guys on something real quick. The
hit
slider. It's a Euro slider.
Oh, Euro.
Yeah, true. Euro.
Shout out to Greeks.
We are in Queens.
Yeah.
It's a Euro slider.
Also, there was like a little story about Francisco Alvarez that came out this week when the Mets had a rain out.
The lasagna.
Yeah, the lasagna. There was like
Him
a
and
rain
Beatty.
out. He invited Brett Beatty and Vientos over to his place to make them lasagna. We have a little inside info from a Venezuelan friend that apparently the Venezuelan lasagna, or the way that they like to do it, is very similar to the Greeks. It's called pasticho, which if Francisco Alvarez make a pasticho, I mean, we might have to have a cook-off between the families or something.
Yeah.
Open invitation for Francisco if he wants to make some lasagna content. I'm in. I'll have cheese that day. I'll have cheese.
Yeah, do some cheese.
I'll do some cheese that day.
Vito dropped the Pit Vipers. Wow. We're podcasting now.
Dude, these aren't just Pit Vipers. These are exclusively available at Citi Field this weekend. These are the Pete Alonso sunglasses that you could get, I believe, on Sunday.
Yes,
Okay.
we're looking June 4th against the Blue Jays. You got the Pete Alonso-inspired neon sunglasses. It's pretty sharp looking, Vito.
Thank you, man. You know I love my pitties.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of
you rock
course.
those things whenever you get a chance.
These are not Pit Vipers. There's a big difference between these. These are not Pit Vipers, and I don't want anybody to make that mistake.
They're Pete Alonso-inspired.
You guys got that? Not Pit Vipers.
Vito, it's spring training. One of my favorite Vito things.
Wait, John.
What's up?
You can't talk.
Why is that?
The last episode, you didn't say anything, and we swept the Phillies.
Well, you guys didn't tell me that before we came on, so
We had a conversation about it just before you arrived.
yeah. Well, maybe you should have clued me in, and I would just stay silent. But instead, I'm going to tell my Vito a little bit here.
We knew.
If the Mets go down this weekend, it's on you.
That's fine. I've never seen you so caring or emotional about the time you left your pink glasses in my hotel room.
My pitties.
Whatever they're called. This guy called me like 3 times, texted me. First of all, you also told me that like you're not allowed to wear them. Is that you're not supposed to be wearing them?
Look, somebody, a very close person to me that I live with that I'm marrying later this year,
Yeah.
really does not care for these sunglasses. So when I go away for a week, I'm wearing them a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And John, what time of day? I'm guessing this was at 2 or 3 a.m. that I was trying to get my glasses back.
Why would you be up that late?
Vibes, baby.
There was a lot of weird stuff going on in John's hotel room in spring training, so we don't know. I think it was a ghost.
There might have been a ghost or your
It's
brother.
not a ghost.
Your brother's he's a rough character. This guy.
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah.
fork.
Yeah, John, shout out my sister. My sister is live watching the podcast today. First woman ever be in the studio. Shout out Julia.
What's good?
Also, watching the game together Tuesday night. Yeah, my sister had great insight in the Mets versus the Phillies this
Oh,
series.
yeah, we heard about this, yeah.
My sister said that the Phillies, and you guys can contest this if we're wrong, tweet at us if you think we're wrong, hit us up. The Phillies are cuter than the Mets. And she held to that statement. And it's disappointing to hear, but her case by case, it made a little bit of sense.
Did you go 1 through 9 in the lineups or around the diamond? What was your comparison?
Round the diamond.
See, yeah, okay.
I think I could have won this. I mean, like, I go deep on Mets hotties.
She basically said that Turner was the one that Trey Turner pushed over the edge for the
The
Phillies.
ladies love Trey.
Yeah, they do. Southern Cali.
He can't hit, though.
Do the Philly
great.
fans
Can't
love
hit.
him?
Not right now.
It's great that he can't hit right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, you know who can hit? Francisco Lindor.
Yes.
Hit a home run Tuesday night. I believe that time was his second homer in 3 games, right,
Yeah.
John? Soon to be his third homer in
Yes,
4th game
that's
next
correct.
day. Yeah. Brandon Nimmo also robbed a home run.
He's gotten really, really good at timing up those home run robberies because he timed that one perfectly on Nick Castellanos, made it look effortless. He also has gotten really good at the fist pump after he
showed
does
emotion.
it. Yeah, showed emotion. We love to see that from Nimmo. Also grown out a little bit of a goatee this week, which it's a new look for Nimmo.
Dude's so ready.
You guys
He's
weren't
ready.
there that night, right? Tuesday night?
No, playing
neither of us.
softball.
I have a confession to make.
Oh, John.
On the board. So whenever the Phillies come to town, we love, there's a meme, deep drive to left, of course.
Yeah, of
Everyone
course.
knows it.
Yeah,
Everyone knows it. During that at bat, we put something up about it, and then Castellanos hit that ball, which was to the left of center field. And the ball leaves the bat, and I immediately go, oh shit, over the headset, and it's flying in midair.
Johnny Curse.
And then Brandon Nimmo saves my on that play.
How
It
could-
was
What were you doing?
on a podcast.
There's a lady here. There's a lady in the room.
Have some
Sorry.
respect.
He's never cursed in front of you, right? Anyway,
Actually,
Never.
here's another funny thing about my sister. My sister's never said a curse word in her life.
That can't be
serious?
possible.
I swear.
I respect it.
We
Honestly,
Italian?
I wouldn't bleep it out if you came over and you
Yeah.
said your first curse
maiden
word.
voice.
say into the mic to the people.
I wouldn't bleep it. I would let it fly. Whatever happens, happens.
We've had moments where I'll like me and my mom will like corner her and like start tickling her and be like, say it. Be like, say this, say that. I want to say because I respect Vito much more than John does. And she won't do it. She won't budge. My mom will like tickle her until she's literally like hysterical and red and she will not say a curse word.
Gotta respect that.
No, yes. Anyone with principles respect
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Yeah. Pretty
Woman
amazing.
of faith.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Oh,
we have fun
beautiful.
when we win, especially
Yeah.
when we sweep.
Yeah, we do.
So much fun.
Eduardo Escobar got a nice insurance run Tuesday night,
Yep.
and bullpen made smooth sailing.
Eduardo's just been swinging a great bat.
Yeah,
Ever
he
since the
has
new
really swung it.
role,
And-
he's just been great.
That was lefty at bat, too.
I know, that's big.
Yeah, it
you
was
know, I
big.
love the righty swing. The lefty swing, if that comes around,
Yeah.
ooh, Eduardo, stop.
Yeah, nice little, poked it right through the hole.
Yeah, just clean game.
Yeah, very clean game.
Quick
Good
game. And the Mets win. So we move on to game two. Game two getting started off with Garrett Wilson in the house.
Yeah.
And as we know,
My man.
Brett Beatty, Garrett Wilson played a little football with each other. You guys probably know that because of us. Because
Yeah,
we
2020, November 2021, the Mets'd podcast, we broke that news.
went to the Arizona Fall League, talked to Brett Beatty, made the rest of his team wait on the bus for him
Yeah.
so that they could talk to us. We got a great interview from it.
We did.
Told us all about playing with Garrett Wilson. Went viral for us. It's like our most
Yeah.
viewed clip ever.
On TikTok, especially.
On TikTok, yeah,
Yeah,
in
it
particular.
got like 800,000 on TikTok.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It's probably a good reason why he loves us so much still.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
Brett, fan of the pod.
Yeah, fan of the pod. And I mean, how cool is that these two dudes are professional athletes and they were like childhood friends.
Marquee
like, playing sports
positions.
together. Yeah. And it is funny because Garrett Wilson talks so much about how good Brett Beatty was at football. The fact that they played together, Pop Warner, and then Brett stopped for a few years to focus on baseball, also played some basketball, as you guys heard 2 years ago on our podcast. And then he came back in ninth grade, and they say he was the best quarterback within 200 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like if Brett Beatty just said, okay, he could have been Division I quarterback easy. It's a good chance he'd be literally in the NFL right now.
University of Texas, maybe,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Well, he was in command there for baseball, too.
Yeah.
Flip side of that, Garrett Wilson throwing a baseball left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, he's much better at catching than throwing.
He's such a good wide receiver. It does not matter at all. But
No.
really cool to just see those guys like hang out, get together, and beat the ballpark.
And he's an Ohio State guy for you.
Go Bucks, baby. Go Buckeyes. Be there soon.
How about Cookie on the mound?
Cookie,
looked great. This was a really, really important and good start from Cookie.
2 weeks ago, you guys yelled at me.
Yelled.
I said after the Cleveland series, I tweeted, and I said on the show, like I saw a lot of good things.
We both did. We were like-
I think he could be okay.
I think I texted you. I was like, I kind of think he pitched well.
Yeah, and it was just that weird that one home run in the first inning, and people forgot after like 3.5 bad starts that he threw 150 innings last year with a 3.97 ERA and ERA estimators FIP and XFIT in the 3.4s and 3.5s, and won 15 games. And he did that with a good slider, good changeup, and good command. And what did he do in this start? Good slider, good changeup, good command. 6 innings, third straight start we completed 5, only threw 82 pitches too. He said, funny tidbit after the game, they went into the locker room and went to the bathroom trying to hide from Buck so he could come back out for the 7th. He's like, but he found me. It's like, all right.
He has to find him to make sure he has to take him out.
I don't think Buck has to find Carlos Carrasco to take him out, but he tried to like go in the bathroom and time and just run back to the mound.
I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
but shout out Cookie, a veteran trying to get back out there. And his fastball is a pitch that, again, I didn't mention it when I talked about him being good last year because that's the thing that gets hit the hardest
Yes.
usually. Lowest stuff plus, it gets slugged down pretty heavily, but he got that thing up to 95.
That's big.
Average velocity,
big.
93.5. He was sitting 93, 94. That was a tick and a half up from his season-long average.
It's huge.
It's a huge deal. And again, the average exit velocity on that was still like 100 miles an hour. Like when they were getting it in the middle of the plate.
Still a fastball.
Yeah, it's still 94. It was still getting hit, but he was still living on the edges with it. It was good. And something else I saw that was interesting. He threw basically only sinkers against righties and fastballs against lefties.
Ooh.
So an adjustment that he hasn't done that really much
Interesting.
since he came back from the injury. So something we're going to keep an eye on, come back around. But amazing start from Cookie. Needed that. It's like just, get that bridge, Senga to Scherzer in this series, again, especially against Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
Who I jinxed him again.
You did. Well done.
did it.
On my fantasy team, glad to not get a lot of
Yeah,
points
right.
out of him.
But just great. He went toe-to-toe there with Nola. And I was like, that was Philly's biggest advantage this series, and he just completely wiped it away.
And the Mets, I feel like, have kind of, I mean, they didn't really like shell Nola, let's
No,
say.
never do.
But I feel like we've been able to beat Nola a lot recently. Like that stat last year about them and Wheeler, how they just couldn't beat us.
Yeah.
Even though they pitch well, they couldn't
Really
beat
well.
us. It's part of being a better team than the Philadelphia Phillies. And it helps, too, when you got guys like Francisco Lindor playing shortstop every day and making just gorgeous play after gorgeous play that he did. Yeah, the spinorama,
Gary
the
loves.
double play that the announcers got angry about. Like, he was just all over the place making great plays all series long.
I wonder if he addressed that, the Phillies announcer saying that. I didn't see anything or
Well,
see anyone
'cause
ask him about it.
It was
but-
game 2. We were here for game 3, so
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
true.
know.
Yeah, we missed
I'm
all that.
assuming they didn't because everybody's friends in that kind of world, so I'm sure you don't.
You don't want to show the other
Yeah,
announcer.
you
up.
don't take shots at your guys, but
Yeah.
Lindor making big plays and Mark Canha
Huge game.
getting warm, starting to heat up. He owns the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't know if maybe John can get us the numbers of what he's been able to do against them recently, but
We got a
I
couple
feel-
here.
I feel like he's just been crushing the ball, especially against the Phillies.
Johnson right here at one point during the game on Wednesday. Canha had, I guess, after a second plate appearance. He had an
Yes.
RBI in 4 straight plate appearances against the Phillies.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's sick. I love to hear
Remember,
that.
so this goes back to last year.
Yes.
The August 21st game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Almost, oh no, not the game of the year. The Mets had some other great wins, but this was one of them.
Game of
Probably
the second
top
half.
5.
Yeah.
Game of the second half. Down 7-4 in the seventh, 3-run game tying homer. Then the Phillies take the lead. Top 9, David Robertson on the mound. He hits a homer to give the Mets the lead.
Yeah.
And then he hadn't played them because that was the last meeting last year. Doesn't play game 1, hits the big home run, the big single, and then obviously what happened today. You guys will get to that. So 4 straight plate appearances, 4 home runs, including today's. All 4 either tied the game or gave the Mets the lead.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. That's exactly what we need from Marquand at the bottom of the order. Like, he's been swinging the bat a lot better of late, too. Like, even not against the Phillies, he's just looked a lot better since the start of the season.
Yeah.
So these are all really encouraging signs moving forward because you can just see when you have a deeper lineup, it makes it so much harder for the other team.
He's got the OPS up to like almost 720 again, too,
Yeah.
which is kind of a place that he sat for a lot of his career. Like, he's just regressing back to the mean.
Marky Cheerios.
Yeah, exactly. Oatmeal, baby. And that's what Carrasco has been too right now. That beautiful oatmeal. Just gets you right through the rotation, move along to the next day, helps you poop. That's all you need.
Still rocking the savory oatmeal?
Yeah, I do savory oatmeal sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, a little sriracha.
Dude,
a couple
your
veggies.
sister's here. You just said helps you poop.
Oh, we could talk about poop. It's family.
I mean, I get that, but still, there's a
family.
lady in the room. What are you?
You
Don't want to hear from this guy.
John had to talk about poop. Johnny Potty Mouth. But also, John mentioned David Robertson pitching for the Phillies last year. I want to shout out again the fact that the Phillies traded a marquee starting pitching prospect to acquire
Ben
David
Brown.
Robertson, Ben Brown.
He was the 15th prospect, dude. Come on.
Yeah, sure. He'd be right now, not even joking, the third best starting pitcher in the Phillies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if Andrew Painter technically doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's not pitching right now.
Yeah.
Like right now on the major league team. He
could use him desperately.
In 50 minor league innings this year, Ben Brown is rocking a 37% strikeout rate.
It's very good.
Between AA and AAA. He'll probably be up with the Cubs at some point this summer, and I'm sure he will be good because he has 2 different breaking balls and a really good fastball. But that was their 15th overall prospect to trade for David Robertson. Don't let LMB Pipeline get hot.
David Robertson, though, has been so good for the Mets.
Incredible, good for the Mets. See, there was a great tweet from One Shining Mets that said that, and we're on this podcast, we love relievers. I love relievers. We like strikeouts more than we like ERA, of course, more predictive. But through the first 24 innings of the season, Robertson has a lower whip and ERA than Edwin Diaz last year. It's mind-blowing.
That's pretty crazy
It's
to say out loud.
insane.
We're talking about a guy
Many
who
less strikeouts for sure and walks, but it's crazy.
a guy who statistically might have had the best season ever a reliever has had.
Yes.
And David Robertson's technically putting up like just as much value.
He's given up runs less frequently and base runners less frequently through like their first third of their season. Isn't that nuts?
That's absolutely, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Gary, Keith, and Ron were on point for this game too. They were absolutely money. Gary and Keith were talking about home runs and just about like different stats. And Keith brought up like, oh, I thought Dave Kingman would have owed that stat. And Gary just went, no, Dave Kingman loved hitting home runs down 7 in the 8th inning. And Keith is like, that doesn't feel like a real true story. He's like, she's an angry kid, man. Like, we saw some bad teams in the 70s with those Mets. So when the 3 guys are together, it's
great.
When they're cooking like that, they really are by far the best broadcast booth. Even when they're not, they still are. But when they're vibing like that, it makes the game even more fun to watch.
But like we always say, when it's just Gary and Keith, get wacky.
Yeah, get a little wacky. Wacky
Have
hours.
a little fun, yeah. And they were having fun again on Wednesday night. That brings us to Thursday. A nice matinee in the ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the nicest day weather-wise we've had Citi Field all year.
Nicest day of 2023.
Yeah, 85 degrees, sunny. The ballpark was packed for a day game. It was
packed.
It was packed. Yeah, it was. It was great vibe for the game, and got off to a little rocky start. The Phillies got a couple early and some stuff going on the base paths, but after that happened, and that was mostly poppycock.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer completely locked in for now what is the 4th start in a row. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, completely in control.
Yeah, if you missed the first inning, you probably would have been upset because you would have been like 2-0 again. Here we go again. Whatever the narrative is that you want to push. But Scherzer gave up like 1 real hit to Trey Turner. Then it was a bad throw by Alvarez that ended up scoring a run on a double steal, and then a sac fly. And it was like nobody really hit the ball hard against Scherzer. There was no real worry ever at any point. And like you said, 7 innings, 9 Ks, just totally locked in, totally in control. That's the Max Scherzer we're used to. Canha said after the game, he's like, Max Scherzer, like this is what we expect from our guy every day.
Yeah, and I mean, exactly. Like, why not? And the big thing with Scherzer again in this game, and Senga for a few starts now, his fastball has been ridiculously electric.
96.
Got to 96 today, which that's a far cry from where we were about a month and a half ago with Max Scherzer. But again, you look back at the way the season has gone, and it was just kind of hard for him to get going.
Yeah.
Because he did have some nagging stuff coming out of spring training. Then he had the suspension that kind of lingered on after that. It was like, okay, like he hasn't really gotten into the groove yet. Now he's in the groove. That fastball got to 96. He got 15 whiffs on Thursday afternoon. Most he's had in one pitch and a start. Most whiffs he's had on one pitch and a start.
Wait, that was just on the fastball?
That was just on the fastball.
Yeesh.
15 whiffs on the fastball.
That's disgusting.
It's insane, yeah. And like he's not even like throwing it high in the zone like the crazy like the Spencer Strider fastball. He's just throwing edges, low, finding his spots where they are. The command was great, and then just like evenly mixed all the off speeds around it. Like he's becoming like a new iteration of a pitcher. And it's amazing to see like how impressive this Hall of Famer is, like changing his entire game on the fly, like in a season.
Yeah, in his last 4 games, he has a 1.08 ERA and 7 innings pitched in consecutive games, which, I mean, if the cows didn't burst against Cleveland, we're probably talking about 3 straight in a row.
Yeah.
He's really, really just gotten sharp, bared down, whatever the cool cliches that you want to use are that we talk about in baseball, but Scherzer has looked completely back.
Yeah, and a big reason that we don't like to really discuss ERA that much is because it kind of gets kind of skewed by like the small sample size when it starts, and really just says what the guy's done and doesn't have any predictive value for what the guy's going to do. After the Detroit start, Max Scherzer's ERA sat at 5.56. Right now, it's down to 3.21.
It's like one of the best ERAs in baseball.
Yes, league average right now is almost 4.6, so he's significantly better than league average already.
Yeah, he's really starting to figure stuff out. And when he's pitching like that, he got a nice standing ovation too from the crowd coming off the field.
Deservedly.
We were hanging out in the Coca-Cola corner, and I
Yes.
stood up out of my seat. I was like, I gotta make sure he pitched well.
And he gave a lot of credit after this game to Francisco Alvarez.
I mean, the dude's a great catcher.
Yes, he's an amazing catcher. Max Scherzer, with heavy praise for Francisco Alvarez, tweet from Tim Healy. He just has instincts. You can never teach instincts. You either have it or you don't. He's got the it factor to him. He's got a good head in his shoulders too, being a young kid and wanting to learn.
Well, I don't know if we talked about this last episode, but they were saying that Scherzer goes to Alvarez and wants to hear what he has to say about his pitching, what he thinks he should change, think about like his game plan, what the decision making should be. He's like, I very much value the opinion of this kid. And can you imagine being Francisco Alvarez?
21 years old.
21 years old. How many catchers, James, have been like him in the last 30 years?
Zero.
That's right. Okay, just making sure we get that in there for this episode.
Every now.
But imagine Max Scherzer, Hall of Fame pitcher, guys won multiple Cy Youngs, come up to you like, hey, what do you think I can change?
And a World Series.
Yeah, what do you think I'm doing? I could do differently that helps. And you're like, me? Like when you were my age, I was like 3. I wasn't even born necessarily.
When he started pitching professionally, Francisco Alvarez probably couldn't speak.
Yeah,
or
no,
walk.
probably. He was a little young.
Crawling.
It's incredible that whatever the scouting report was by the dummies who said about Francisco Alvarez and his catching. I mean, just so wrong.
And in a series where he doesn't do like Herculean things with the bat like he's done the last multiple series.
He was human.
He was a regular baseball player this series. And he's getting all these props for his work behind the plate.
Yeah. I mean, in this game, I know we were at the stadium, so we couldn't see it, but shout out my dad. He was texting me. Kyle Schwarber got rung up on a strike 3 call from Brooks Raley in the 9th that he was upset about. Should have been tossed. He doesn't respect the game. That's fine.
Never say sorry.
No, never. But my dad was like, oh, that pitch was like 4 to 6 inches off the plate. Alvarez did an incredible job framing it, completely stole that strike. And that's in that scenario, that's when framing does become really, really important. When you can steal a strike there against a big power hitter with a man on base, it was a tying run.
Yes.
It's huge. Changed the outcome of that inning.
Yeah, it could potentially change the outcome of the game. Amazing things watching Francisco Alvarez develop. And kind of just go back in this game. The only reason he had to leave, Mark Canha, big home run.
Dude, big June.
Yeah.
June's going to be a big month for Mark Canha.
Loves June.
Loves June, and he's getting hot at the right time. John's got a good stat here. He even put good stats, so we know we have to read this one. Canha has 11 RBIs in his last 3 games versus the Phillies, tied for the most by any Mets player in any 3-game span versus Philadelphia in Mets history. That is a good stat.
I should have said it before, honestly. It kind of tied. But how about the next one?
The next one. Also, since May 9th, Alvarez 2 home run game in Cincinnati. The 8 and 9 hitters in the Mets lineup have a .513 slugging percentage and 25 RBIs in a sample of 22 games. John even gave his own little personal opinion here. That's the definition of a deep lineup. And I agree.
I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. When you start, the Mets get on base among the best in Major League Baseball. So when you have guys that can hit in the bottom of the order, it's crazy what it does for run production.
Could you find us now, since the Tampa Bay Alvarez game,
Yes.
where the Mets rank in the league in home runs, just raw home runs?
Interesting.
I bet they're like,
It's got to be higher.
it's got to be
Was
top
that
10
May
in the league.
17th, I think, that game?
I don't, maybe, it
Was
should
that
at
May
least be top
17th?
Yeah, it
half.
was May 17th.
Yeah.
Should at least be top half. I mean,
I might have been May 16th.
it's
No, 16th they lost. That was the Tuesday game.
Okay, yeah,
it's
the
great
Wednesday,
what you
right?
can do, though, when you get on base and hit home runs.
Yes,
it
amazing.
really
just hitting home runs in general.
Hitting
It's
home runs is
incredible.
fun.
And this game, Brett Baty maybe starting to like some signs of getting off the schneid a little bit. 3 hard hit balls, hit a double off a lefty.
Yes.
That was Strom or Soto?
Matt Strom.
That was Strom late in the game. So we were even talking like, oh, maybe they'll get pitch hit for. Oh, he didn't get pitch hit for. This is weird. And then roped a double.
Wait, it might have been Soto. I think you were right.
I think it was Soto.
I think it was
right?
Gregory
Yeah.
Soto.
But they're back-to-back lefties there. But And then Starling Marte moved him over the third on a bunt. Then Mark Vientos hit a 113-mile-an-hour piss missile sack fly to bring him in. Yeah,
rocket of a ball.
It's just kind of cool that you can put this together to bomb your batting order and get guys hitting the ball really, really hard.
It's also nice having like a legit power bat with some pop on the bench coming off
Yes.
like that with Mark Vientos.
Really cool.
Got your answer, by the way. 21 homers. And that
where's
is
that-
tied for the 5th most in baseball.
Time for the 5th most
Wow.
in baseball. Give me that. 71 games.
And what's the Mets record since then? They're
Really
winning
good.
a lot more. It's
And they're
crazy.
starting pitching. It's all
Home runs win games. Good pitching wins games. Playing good baseball. This is a good baseball team. We were
man.
telling you guys.
What a
10-4 in that span.
10-4 in that
10-4.
span. Keep it going. God.
It's just I love when they win games.
No, this is a great series. You got a sweep. Good bullpenning again, too. Rayleigh, Jeff Brigham, great clean inning. Beautifully clean
You
inning.
got the Brigham minute. What happened?
No, we don't need to bring him in anymore because everyone knows he's just good. It's
true.
Like the prophecies realize he's a high leverage reliever in the Mets bullpen. And yes, I saw it and it happened. At this time last week, he led the Mets roster in strikeout rate. Like I can't even fathom it. But just good. He's trusted now late in innings, late in games. Brooks Raley passed the ball to Drew Smith for the one-pitch save, the rare one-pitch save. Rare one-pitch save, and we swept the Phillies.
Yeah, 17-5 versus the Phillies since the start of last season. We know we owned them last year, but it's just continued on that.
They really only got hot and made their whole World Series run because of the schedule that we didn't play them the whole second half.
Correct.
Yeah, like we literally killed them in the beginning, and then we didn't exist, so then they got hot.
Yeah, they played a good 2 weeks of baseball.
Yeah, no, it was a good 2 weeks.
It was great. Yeah,
I'll take
phenomenal
that, yeah.
2 weeks. I'd take those 2 weeks at the end of this year for us for sure.
Yeah, right now Mets, like you said before, 8-game home winning streak, home run, 15 consecutive games. That's
so many.
Second longest streak in Mets history.
I love home runs.
What does happen?
I love home runs. So much fun.
Freak. And speaking of home runs, total bases. We talked a lot about how great the kids played this series, though. Wasn't as many fireworks as we saw in Colorado.
Yeah.
So your boy won the estimate again. I think that pulled me back into a tie.
I think
with
so.
Mark. Yeah,
I believe so.
John, you got anything fun for us this week?
Yeah, usually we talk about this before, but didn't tell these guys anything.
Nope, nothing.
Really surprising us. I kind of like it.
John didn't show up last episode. In this episode, not giving us that much either. Great stats though.
All right, so here we go. This one, I think we should do what I mentioned in the text group because this one is kind of a wide-ranging one. So we've documented it. We've talked about it many times. Has not happened yet. Pete Alonso still tied with Lucas Duda. As much as I want him to, Lucas Duda will not be the forever home run king at Citi Field. It's not going to happen. I've resigned to that fact. But it's going to happen this weekend, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure you guys agree.
I like
Pete's
it.
homering in this weekend series against
it.
Toronto. So I want to know, and the listeners at home, you guys chime in, and if anyone can nail it, we'll get you a signed baseball.
Whoa.
I think that's cool.
Whoa.
Because this one's tough.
Okay.
I'm in.
You got to nail it. I don't want like within one. This isn't horseshoes, hand
Okay.
grenades, whatever that.
So this is a fun one.
This is a fun one. How many pitches will Pete Alonso see before he hits his first home run in this series?
Whoa. Okay. How many pitches will he see before
Yeah.
he hits the first
Yeah.
home run in this
We got to
series?
think of like a Twitter graphic now so we can tweet this tomorrow. People can get back to us.
That's really interesting.
If you nail it, you nail it.
How many pitches will he see? What are the pitching matchups? Do we know?
Yeah, I
Well,
got
of
you
course
right
we
here.
know.
I think
Yeah.
Chris Bassitt's pitched
Start
one of the
plugging in.
games.
We have Verlander versus Bassett, 7-10 on Friday. Bit of an ace-off. Old friend Chris Bassett coming back. Saturday, 4 in the afternoon, Tyler McGill versus Jose Barrios. Jose Barrios has been actually quite hot recently.
Yeah.
He's really kind of turned the corner again. And then Sunday matinee, Kodai Senga versus Yusei Kikuchi. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a cool
little
one.
stepping stone series. A 7, a 4, and a 1.
Now, for the sidebar, are we doing preview right now? Or are we doing estimate?
No,
Good
estimate.
estimate, but he wanted to hear the matchups and we're beginning the preview.
Should I throw a little preview for a second and then go back to estimate?
You know what, Vito? To
Flash
keep it
preview.
easy for you.
Flash preview. A preview. Oh,
All right, I got my number.
You got your number? I have no.
I mean,
I
it's
have
it's
no clue.
nonsense.
Yeah.
We're playing darts here.
Actually, no. You know what?
I want to look at Mark.
I'm gonna say,
Do some game theory.
yeah, I got my number.
And we're talking a good autograph ball, by the way. If you nail this at home, good autograph ball. So
Are you going to say what the ball is?
Heard from John first. We've been holding
John's
on
not making
on
it-
to a good one, but I kind of want it for the.
John's
kinda
not
want
making
the
any
engagement.
promises of who it could be.
no, I mean, we'll see who we can get our hands
So
on. but
mystery ball.
mystery
So
ball.
one that we don't have yet, because the one we
Kirk
have, we have a
Neuenhuis.
good video with it.
Kirk Neuenhuis. It's not going to be unless you want one. If you request one, we'll try to make
I'm
that
going to
happen.
ask somebody from the graphics department to make a little graphic with a ball and a question mark.
Question mark.
You guys are gonna get a ball signed by John and Vito.
Yeah, there it is.
Both of them on a ball.
That would be a one of one, though.
Priceless.
There aren't too many floating
Priceless.
around.
John and
so.
Vito. Maybe
Right.
sign microphones next time.
You ready?
Yes.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Bang. I got 7.
At 21.
7.
Wow,
I think he's
we
going to
we both did multiples of 7.
That is interesting.
That's weird.
Lucky number 7, the 7 line.
I went lucky 21.
That would be his 21st home run as well.
Wow.
I really like where yours is at now. I'm screwed. I'm done. I can't win this.
7 line, but you didn't do a diamond or a circle. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Come on. Square? I'm drawing squares here.
Square. I'm a square man.
You're a square man.
Square man.
Mark's a square. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to do it in like the first 2 at bats. Bassett's been giving up a lot of home runs this year. So I think
I don't know if that's true.
No, he's got a 1.5 home run per 9 this year.
Okay, is that worse than last year? Better than last year?
That's the highest of his career by a pretty good margin, and I'm not counting 2016 where he threw 28 innings.
Okay, interesting. So
This sounds like a preview.
yeah,
It's a perfect time to
bring it
build
into the
professional
preview.
segue.
Now you know what you're doing, Vito.
So, as you guys know, we have the Blue Jays coming to town. I believe this is the second consecutive season we actually have the Blue Jays in town, unless I'm like just remembering 2021 in my head. Maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. And I think weirdly, you know how like we always say
Like, kinda same time of year.
the Mets kind of killed Joe Girardi a little bit with the Phillies. I think we killed Charlie Montoya last year.
I think 2 years ago.
No, I think he got fired like pretty close to after playing the Mets last season.
It was 2 years ago. It was mid-July, July 23rd, 4th, and 5th
was
was
2
that
years ago?
series. Yeah, the Mets. Yeah,
That was Steven Matt's return.
it was 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
right?
it was that
Yeah.
summer 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. What a blur last year was.
Friday, July 23rd,
Charlie-
24th,
yeah.
25th.
Okay.
Fireworks night was July 23rd.
There you go.
There it
Fireworks
is.
night. Johnny Pyro.
Pete Alonso had 2 home runs that night.
There you go. Foreshadowing. But this Blue Jays team, this is gonna be an interesting sentence, and I think they are better than this team. But just the way they go into every single season, the way their lineup is regarded, and the results they get from it, they are to me the American League Padres.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think they're better.
They're definitely better.
I think they're better.
They're definitely
but
better.
it's kind of the same concept where it's a lot of popcorn muscles. It's a crazy good top of the order, a bottom of the order that a hit or miss depending on the day. What?
You love that expression.
Popcorn muscles.
I mean, it's true when you look at a baseball team. Like, who's like every year, it's like who's the Blue Jays 6th starter? We don't know.
Yeah, Nate Pearson. I think he
kind
actually
of.
pitched kind of well.
He's been pitching in relief a
Yeah.
lot this year, and the bottom, like top of the order, is unbelievable. You get through like that top 3: Springer, Bichette, Vlad. That's probably the best 1, 2, 3. It's been put together almost the entire league.
Yeah.
It's pretty fearful. Bo Bichette's having a ridiculous season. Vlad Guerrero, it's hard to get him out. George Springer's finally getting hot. Matt Chapman's also been amazing. He had kind of a downturn in May, but like the last 2 days, 3 days, he's been amazing. The second I took him out of all my fantasy baseball lineups. And then you get to the bottom, and like Dalton Varsho's been good, but also kind of been weird. That trade's also looking really interesting in retrospect now.
Yeah, not looking great.
Looking back, Gabby Moreno, as I call it, the contact machine.
And Lourdes Gurriel is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's a beast. And Whit Merrifield's like kind of doing the Whit Merrifield thing old school again, where he's making a lot of contact, stealing a ton of bags, but that's kind of it.
Pesky.
Yeah, pesky. Alejandro Kirk, one of my favorites, has not gotten off the schneid yet this year. He's had some good games recently, but whatever. And then Kevin Kiermaier's having the best season of his career, but
Yes.
still, like, I think it's just kind of the randomness of a sample because we've only played like what, seven.
He's also just never
60
been
games.
healthy. So maybe maybe he's healthy.
I mean, you only just hit your prime at 33.
No.
Yeah.
but he is a
Yeah.
physical specimen.
Yeah, he's a physical specimen. And then, well, like Brandon Bell hits a middle order too. So,
I mean, they got some guys on their bench I've legitimately never heard of. I've never heard of Nathan Lukes.
or Ernie Clement.
That's Nathan Lukes. This is not a real person.
Which is what I mean by popcorn muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Whoa.
What?
His last name is not pronounced Lukes. It's pronounced Lucas.
Lucas.
Lukes.
I kind of like that.
All right. Okay. A little
And
more
then
respect.
We're going to miss Kevin Gausman. He
Thank
threw
goodness.
on Thursday, had his best start of the year. He passed Spencer Strider for the most games by any starting pitcher this year with at least more than 10 strikeouts. He is what we dream of Kodai Senga becoming with like 98 mile an hour gas and just like he's not the ghost fork. No one else has the ghost fork, but the splitter just completely falls off the table. And he's so good. He's so incredibly good. They got such a deal with him 2 years ago in free agency, but we're missing him and we're missing everybody's favorite underachieving starting pitcher, Alek Manoah.
You would have loved to seen him.
Yeah, I would love to see him. I was really rallying against Alek
Yeah.
Manoah in the offseason. I went like half viral telling Mark in a video that he stunk. I got so many Twitter replies by angry Blue Jays fans. Angry Blue Jays fans have never ever fled my mentions before, so that was a fun afternoon for me.
They're a strong group of
Yeah,
people.
they're really passionate about their team. But
It's an entire country.
yeah, that's true. They didn't want to hear that Alek Manoah was not good.
No.
Even though he won. Did you know he won 17 games last year?
That's true.
Yeah, and he had a good ERA, so that means he has to be
Yeah,
good.
no,
But he's not good. He wasn't good. He hasn't been good this year. We're not going to see him anyway. But yeah, the whole I don't know. It's top heavy. It's good. I don't know. And even their bullpen is like pretty good, but it's kind of the same thing. Like Romano is generally great. The stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
He's gotten hit a little bit this year. Eric Swanson's probably been the best reliever. He's who they acquired from the Mariners for Teoscar Hernandez.
I mean, Nate Pearson might have been their best reliever.
Nate Pearson has the best stuff in the bullpen.
Yeah.
He has so much potential. They're like, we can't just commit to him being a reliever just yet.
Everybody's favorite submarine pitcher, Adam Simber, will be
Yeah.
back in town. I know we have some
He's
fun
fun.
memories with him when he picked off Jonathan Villar at third base.
We've also had some fun memories of, hitting Anthony Bass pretty hard when he was with the Marlins. We've definitely
Yeah.
gotten to him a few times.
Be good to smack him around.
Excited to hit Anthony Bass really hard this series.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And but I think Pearson is the guy who I'm going to be like, that's the interesting, like, fun guy to watch. He was like the consensus #1 pitching prospect in baseball
For a while.
3 or 4 years ago. Throws 100-mile-an-hour gas, like high draft pick. He was a high draft, right? He's a high draft
Yeah,
pick
he was a
guy.
high draft pick.
Yeah.
I think he was like 8th or 7th overall.
You got one of those demon sinkers that you guys know I love talk about so much. But now, fastball high in the zone, crazy slider, and he's throwing a curveball a little bit too. And that pitch is really good.
Correction, 28th overall, but first round.
Yeah.
Out of College of Central Florida.
Interesting.
Ocala.
UCF.
I feel like they
College
might-
or you
No,
university?
College
Oh.
of Central Florida. I think they might be the Osprey.
The Osprey.
Yeah, just it's in my head somewhere. I'm not sure.
Shout out my sister goes to shore, the Osprey. But yeah, I need Blue Jays popcorn muscles. Let's get the top of that order out. Let's play good baseball. Keep pitching well. Keep the at bats moving. Keep hitting home runs.
I mean, that's truthfully what it is. Keep playing the baseball that we have been on this little win streak here, this little hot streak for the Mets, and they can very much beat anybody. It's not like the Blue Jays are an unbeatable team.
No, by no means. They do a very good top of the order.
Very good.
I think like Bobichet's probably going to do something crazy this series. 'Cause he
Yeah,
does.
and Vlad Jr. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't have tickets to come out to the park this weekend, highly suggested because you
Yeah.
are going to watch some really, really good baseball and some really, really talented hitters.
I go against the balance schedule all the time. This is a moment where it's pretty cool.
Yeah, get to
Because
see Vlad Guerrero.
We get
and-
some really cool young players in this ballpark that haven't been here much in the past, and a lot of fans are going to get their first exposure to Bobichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
100%. Yeah. I mean, these guys are studs. They're studs. As simple as that. I don't think we have anything else to talk about in the series. Just a couple little housekeeping notes for you guys. You might notice if you're watching the YouTube video. If not, go to the YouTube channel, go watch What Are You Doing? But we have some trinkets, some giveaways, some promotional items on the table for you guys. You saw Vito had the neon-inspired Pete Alonso sunglasses that he's currently putting on. So
Those are being given away Sunday.
those are being given away Sunday. Saturday, we have Hall of Fame induction day,
Yes.
which is going to be a great day for everyone out there.
Howie Rose, Gary Cohen.
Al Leiter is going
Al
to be a part
Leiter,
of it
yeah.
as well. I think Ron Darling too, right?
Howard Johnson. Ronnie's in.
Oh, Ronnie's
Ronnie
in.
got in.
Yeah, okay. And then fireworks night on Friday, which Johnny
Yeah.
Pyro over there can tell you all about the fireworks show.
Also, New Balance DJ night, which is going to be great
first time back this
combination.
summer?
Great first one of the season, Friday night.
is it?
Every Friday night, DJ Sage.
Oh, did
So,
you Sage?
yeah, Friday's going to be a vibe at Citi Field. Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to
How do you
tomorrow
spell
night.
that?
With a
It's a really deep inside joke that's only funny to
It's a
us.
day of the week. That's my tomorrow could be borderline Y.
Okay.
Could be.
All right.
Oh, here he
That's
is.
I mean, not
that's
for
big
me.
news
Not
for you
for
guys
me.
at home.
Watch
But we're not
out.
hitting martini glass, you're saying.
I don't think so. But if so, then I mean, Bark at the Park was a hit last night. Always
yeah.
is.
To twist John's arm.
Twist my arm.
It's always down to have a good time. We also have the Starling Marte Black Panther bobblehead. That's going to be on June 26th, Monday night against the Brewers.
Nice.
Be a fun little game.
Gotta
know
get revenge on that team.
Yeah, we need to get revenge on them. They're not playing great baseball right now. Wow, back-to-back good bobbleheads. I didn't realize this. Indiana Jones, Mr. Met, Tuesday night against the Brewers.
I love this one. This one's so funny.
Trying to get you guys out there to watch the Brewers get beat by the Mets. I
Yeah.
mean, these bobbleheads are really cool. I know if you're listening, this really means nothing to you.
Mrs. Met's really excited about this one.
So there's a whole, I don't know if you guys are fans of the show Barry, but there's a whole bit about the podcasters. I won't spoil too much, but
I haven't watched the season yet.
it's about like they review gadgets on a podcast, and the guy's like, yeah, but like it doesn't make any sense because it's audio. And he's like, well, you can watch the videos after. He's like, but I'm already listening to the podcast. Why would I do it? Anyway, and then we have the corduroy hat, which, when is this one, Vito? I don't have the date on that.
That's going to be Saturday, September 2nd versus the Mariners.
We'll say it's this is like
September
genuinely
2nd?
September 2nd.
Wow, we got some time.
A lot of time, but
This
this is
is
genuinely
such a cool hat.
This is really cool. This feels
Yeah.
right up your vibe.
Yeah, I think I might just take this one.
Vibes with a Y.
He won't. He won't. I promise the people that I borrowed that hat from, he will not be taking
Oh, I
it
didn't,
right
I didn't
now.
realize that. I thought it was your hat. I was just stealing
No,
your
these
hat.
are on loan.
I take it back.
Vito would never do that.
take
and I
it back.
respect
Never.
it.
Thank
No,
you.
yeah.
He would never do that.
Never.
Company man.
Company man.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I mean, it's going to be a good weekend at the park. The Hall of Fame inductions, got a fun team coming to town, and you got another episode of the Mets'd podcast coming Sunday.
I won't be here. I'm going to be playing baseball against
Yeah.
the Burlington Sock
Our
Puppets.
200th episode, Mark is skipping it.
If you guys are
to
in
lose
North,
a baseball game.
if you're in North Carolina, come out Burlington, North Carolina, Sunday night. We'll be playing there.
John, cancel the cake.
Cancel the
It's
cake.
too late.
I'm missing it. Well, I can't eat cake anyway.
yeah,
so.
I probably can't either.
They just
for you
ordered a cake for
guys.
themselves, I guess.
Cake for John and Vito. Signed cake knife, courtesy of John and Vito. That's what you guys are getting if you guess the Pete Alonso pitches till the home run correct.
Yes, but
I'll
we'll
sign anything.
John will sign anything.
Can't wait to take him up on that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can we set up a P.O. box and have John just sign anything that comes in?
Wait,
Oh.
I have 2 more quick little things to talk about. We had a friend from back home text us about John and Vito on the scoreboard.
Oh yeah.
Who was the interview that went up on Tuesday night that was of you guys?
Paul
talking to-
Gervais.
Paul
Paul
Gervais.
Gervais.
Brooklyn Cyclones
Took a
reliever.
screenshot of you just completely not looking at the guy, looking off. He's like, tell that guy to pay attention.
Who, me?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were looking in the distance.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. At that
I can
moment.
imagine,
There's a lot
yeah.
going on. First of all, there's baseballs flying our way.
Oh, that is true. No, that anytime we're looking away at a baseball stadium,
yeah,
it's
they're
because
whizzing by our heads.
we were doing it during BP.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
dangerous time. You were down the line too, I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's Maimonides, right? Maimonides, not MCU.
Maimonides,
Maimonides Park. There's not a lot of.
No, not a lot of
Yeah,
foul
no,
territory.
that's in your face
But
quick.
yeah, I thought that was funny. He had no idea that, like,
You know what?
you're
I
part of
appreciate
this.
it, but there's the
And then shout out my boy Jackson, former editor, Blue Jays fan. He listens to every episode of our podcast.
Thanks,
As a Blue
Jackson.
Jays fan, he sent me a really cool picture, which I'll send it to Vito. But this is what he works on. He's like a steel
Whoa.
worker.
He
this
lives
is
in Seattle?
Lives in Toronto.
Oh.
That's right by the what's
The
it called?
Needle.
The Needle. The
Oh,
CN
that's-
Tower. Is
that's
that what it's
views.
called? Yeah, it's views. Literally views from the 6. Vito, I'll send you this, but he listens to it, and this is where he listens to it on.
That's cool.
On top of skyscrapers.
Also, one more thing to shout out. Give out the Howie Rose bobblehead on, I believe that was Wednesday night.
Yes.
And shout out Josh Rosenman, works in production here. He made a really funny video the Mets put on their social media of they cut together Howie Rose throwing the first pitch and Pete Alonso hitting a walk-off home run.
yeah, no, that video is awesome.
Never leave it up.
No. So that's it for the episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Follow us on all our social media at Mets'd, New York Mets YouTube channel. Listen to us, download, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano.
and me, Giraffe Neck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll catch you after the Blue Jays series, hopefully for some more wins. Peace.
Peace out. See you guys next time.